Hello and welcome everyone to episode 57 of One Piece at a Time, the One Piece read-through podcast where we read and discuss 5 chapters of the One Piece manga each and every week. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host and freelance letterer at Shonen Jump, Brandon Bovia. How you doing, Brandon?
How's it going? I'm, of course, Brandon Bovia, manga letterer for stuff like Dragon Ball Super, Kaiju number 8, currently Naruto, and just, bunch of other stuff. Kind of here ready to just kind of get into it.
Yeah, because, we've been talking for a while how it's been just nonstop action, and my God, it's still kind of the case, but
it's some of the best nonstop action.
Right? This is some really good stuff, and we were talking before we started, we didn't really remember a lot of this, which is crazy considering how good it is.
I feel like I say this like every other episode where I'm like, okay, we're kind of transitioning into the next part of the arc, but this definitely really feels like that. And I don't know, it certainly represents a gap in my memory of like, oh yeah, like this is how they got from point A to point B.
Yeah, it feels like we had everybody separated out. Now it's time to bring them together.
Yeah.
That's the big goal of this one. I don't know. Let's get into it with chapter 266, Pirate Chopper versus Vassal Ohm. And the opening of this chapter was fascinating because Robin arrives where she needs to be, and it's just sort of her researching for a while.
And
how
weirdly,
things don't match
kind
up.
of some of the most compelling stuff, just watching her walk around and take notes. And I'm like, oh yeah. Trying to see her dig deeper and figure out what the story of this place was. I don't know. It's super interesting.
Yeah, it's just showing these ruins, her looking around, trying to figure out what's going on, taking notes, writing things down, and then just coming out and saying, this doesn't seem like El Dorado. The size and topography are all off, and stranger still. And then she's like, it can't be, and that's where it leaves off. It's like, what's going on? Especially with that giant jack in the background. Like, what is that?
Yeah, there's still so many mysteries left to uncover about this place.
Oh, yes. But in the meantime, good on you, Chopper. You actually climbed up the giant jack and made it up to these ruins. And according to you, you're going to be the first one to get to El Dorado. I mean, really, he is. Well, kind of, but also kind of not.
Yeah.
But he makes it there. The ground's a little slanted. And then he gets to meet Holly.
Yeah.
That is a big dog.
Just massive. I do love, as much as sort of like Chopper freaking out and screaming at everything, I feel like has kind of run its course, but the joke of like him screaming so hard his hat is like a couple of feet off his head is kind of funny.
Even better is that his antlers came detached from his head as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it's ridiculous. As you said, the joke's kind of played out at this point, but it also makes sense that he'd be freaking out.
Yeah, he would. This is the natural reaction, but yeah, I think I've had my fill of Chopper screaming and stuff.
Well, fortunately, you don't have to worry about it too much longer because we get to meet Ohm, who's like, "Oh, you defeated Gedatsu. Well, he's an idiot and better off dead. Don't you agree?" He's like, he's not wrong. But yeah, Ohm has only taken out 3 people that have actually made it to him, and he's just kind of chilling, not really on the attack or anything, just cross-legged. And it's like, hey, this is Holly, my trusty canine sidekick, but he won't bite. And Chopper's like, yeah, but this guy's all bloody and out cold. It's like, oh no, he won't. Holly won't attack unless I command it. I'm the one who chopped him up.
I do. Like, it's very short-lived, but, I feel like Oda has to find a way to make every goon, at least somewhat interesting, no matter how little screen time they actually have. So Ohm's kind of like high school philosopher shtick, like kind of very, like, I don't know, it feels very I'm 14 and this is deep.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm mourning human frailty. Humans are so weak and yet they keep destroying each other. But they attack each other in search of happiness, but they cause each other misery, and he's actually shedding a tear behind his glasses. But there is a path to salvation. We just kill them all.
Yeah, which it built up to a pretty funny joke. So yeah. I'm here for it.
Yeah, almost ready to fight, and Chopper's like, "Oh God, I don't want this at all."
Yeah,
but it's time to step away because Rocky has found Kamakiri, and Kamakiri is just broken. It's like, no one can defeat Aneru. He is invincible. Stop Wiper before it's too late. And Rocky has a mission and is off to stop it. And the other key point of here is that we get confirmation. This isn't some godly power or anything like that. Aneru ate the rumble fruit.
I forgot this was here of all things, and that she knows this of all things.
Yeah, you think they would know if they know what the rumble fruit can do, especially the fact that apparently it's the most powerful devil fruit of the Logia type. Or Logia, I forget exactly how it's pronounced.
I think Logia.
Yeah.
It is funny, like it kind of makes this whole like Kamakiri's whole like exposition on his last words kind of pointless, where he's just like, nobody can touch him, he's invincible. Rocky's like, yeah, he has the Rumble fruit, I know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's just kind of, it's like, well, you didn't have to say any of that.
Like if Kamakiri had found out by fighting Aneru and then relayed that information to Rocky, it might make a bit more sense, but not so much here.
Yeah, it's just a little silly.
Yeah, I'm going to wait on the whole Logia type thing here because I feel like we're still due for a full explanation on all of those.
Yeah. We'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because we've already heard about the Chopper's type, the Zoan type. So we've heard about Zoan type, so it makes sense. There's, this elemental type seems to be Logia, but there's still a bit more to it than that. So we'll just save it.
Either way, Edoru is untouchable, and they are woefully underpowered.
Yeah, it's not looking good. And in the meantime, Zoro has found himself back to the sacrificial altar.
Somehow.
Yeah. He's just like, this looks familiar. And then the bird laughs at him, gets upset because he throws something at him, and then he's like, yeah, I'm going to just steal your lunch now. And that's how Zoro gets carried away, trying to hold on to his lunch, despite the fact there's no food left in there. And it gets carried off into the sky.
I love the fact that I feels like Zoro is like hanging off of the back of this Southbird for like most of the section.
I know. He got his fight, and now he's just hanging out with this Southbird for whatever reason. It's really funny how they find a way to have Zoro meet up with everybody despite rather than just being wandering around for how long.
Yeah, it's good. I feel like it's better than him just walking around and being like, oh, hey, there's everybody. So there's more of a comedic aspect to kind of getting him into the right place.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But then we get back to Luffy in the cave, and he found a dead end in this cave. It's like, well, is there a trick door? Maybe there's an exit. And he decides to use Gum Gum Bazooka on it, and it didn't move. Like, no effect, which is kind of crazy for Luffy and, his abilities. But somehow this also causes some sort of avalanche where things start moving all around and he gets shifted around. He's like, what is happening?
Yeah, he's like, what is happening?
That is a good question.
He's been there for a while, and I love that this all came completely out of nowhere again.
Right. This is our way of getting him not involved in things, but also be completely Luffy in style.
Yes. He fell, and now he's here.
Yeah. But yeah, Chopper is running away from Alm, and he's like, okay, I'm away from him. He's not around, and there's a lot of places to hide. I should be okay. So if I keep my distance from him, since he's a swordsman, I should be okay. And then all of a sudden, a series of ruins and walls just get smashed to pieces, cuts Chopper right along the chest, and that's it. One hit.
Yeah, and he's down, presumably for the rest of the arc, it feels like.
Yeah, he's down just like Sanji and Usopp. So our third crewmate is down from the Straw Hats. According to his survival rate is 0%, his Iron Challenge. So
yeah, oof.
He's our most powerful member, it seems, which makes sense.
He feels like it. He feels like the least dumb.
Yeah,
of all of these.
He is definitely the least dumb. So yeah. Still, it's kind of shocking how quickly.
Yeah, no, seriously, just right off from the start.
Yeah. Do we have an SBS for this one, which we get some explanation on the kami's names, the vassals' names, I should say, as Gedatsu is the concept of freeing oneself from earthly problems in Buddhism. Shura is the realm of the semi-divine in Buddhism. Satori is enlightenment in Buddhism. And Yama is the lord of the afterlife in Buddhism. Om, meanwhile, is, as Oda explains, because they're like, where does Om fit in on this? Oda's like, I'm not religious, so I winged it. Om is the sacred Hindu symbol. So, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. That makes sense. I guess I definitely got to brush up on my Buddhism, because I definitely didn't Didn't catch that.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that at all.
I was like, there has to be a theme, because I feel like there's a theme to a lot of a lot of the naming and a lot of the villains in One Piece. But yeah, no, it just
I mean, makes sense. That actually, I'm going to take this opportunity to point out something that a commenter pointed out that I didn't even think of. So you know how we have all of these underlings, the Heavenly Warriors, and for some reason they're sheep, or they're just goats or whatever. They're like, why sheep and all that? And they pointed out, well, it's because they're lambs of God.
Ah, that's good.
And damn it, Oda.
Yeah, wow, I didn't think of that at all.
Nope, not at all. So that was pretty fun. Either way, let's go ahead and get to chapter 267, where we're done with our verses. We're up to March.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a nice wide view of the upper yard, and Nami has to dive into the cloud river in order to stop Isa, because she is so desperate to go save her people. She's like, I'm a warrior. It's like, no, you're a kid. Get back on the ship.
Poor Nami, I feel like has to rein in this little girl.
Yeah, pretty much. And in the meantime, a snake has showed up. That I think it's the same snake as we had them
that
fight.
Chased everybody.
Yeah, they've split them all up. So he just sort of shows up, and we get the size of this thing. Like, I don't think I realized how big it was when they first encountered it, but it dwarfs the Mary. I mean, most things dwarf the Mary, but still.
Like the way that it just like the snake just like bumps into it. You're just like, oh dear.
It's like, Mary, hang in there. That's not good. And then we get back to Luffy. He's like, well, what's with the cave? This was an earthquake, and I'm being, almost swallowed by the sea clouds, and I almost drowned, but I'm okay now. So, hey, open up. And that's when we get the connection, because all of a sudden the snake eyes widens, and it just has this as it screams out in pain.
It's like screaming. Yeah.
Luffy got eaten by the damn snake.
Yep. Of course. Again, just I love the build up to it, at least, because because there's no really indication of it. Luffy, he just like falls, and you're just like, what happened?
And thanks to the black and white, you would not realize that this is the insides of a snake or anything like that. It's like, it looks like ruins of just an old cave, so it makes sense. And to have it revealed like that, like, oh my God, it's kind of brilliant, especially with it happening off screen, where you don't see him falling into a cave or even the snake. Yeah.
It's the way, I think. The way Oda built up to this was very much on purpose. I think it makes for... I did remember that Luffy got eaten by the snake, but even now, it makes for a pretty fun joke.
Yeah. And Oda did have his hints, because there was... in the last set of chapters, we had a point where we were with Luffy, and we just hear this gurgle, as if it's a stomach.
Yep.
So... Pretty nice in that way. Luffy is just upset about being stuck in here, just starts punching the hell out of the insides, which causes the snake to convulse. And somehow Nami and Isa decide to take off in the waiver or new waiver, try to run away from it.
Try to get away any way they can. But
yeah, I guess so. And they head off into the woods. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just like, oh, she's off now. Okay. Sure.
I would say at least like maybe Nami's thinking that got to get the snake away from the Mary. It feels like the snake could very easily destroy it.
I mean, it could be, but there's no indication that that's what she's thinking. So she just takes off.
It does feel just sudden.
Yeah, and while she's running off, there's random Shandy and a random Heavenly Warrior fighting it out. And she leads the snake right to them. She's like, go that way, eat them. Yeah. And she kind of gets away from it. They're in the woods. And we get the realization is that the entire reason we had Isa fall off the boat is and Nami jump in after her so we can get her shirt back off. So she's back into her top, just bathing suit top.
When did that happen?
It's because she went into the water. You see it in there. She's like, hey, that's no good. She threw off her shirt when she jumped in after Isa.
Yeah, I see it. Yep, I see it now.
You can just barely see it, but that's...
Yep.
She's back in her bikini top.
Of course.
So Sanji would be happy if he was still conscious.
Yeah, Sanji's missing out on all the fun.
Yeah, it really is. Speaking of fun, Zoro is still flying along with this South bird, and he's just asking like, "Hey, let me down, dumb bird. Should I cut him? What should I do?" And then all of a sudden, the snake appears out of the woods trying to eat the South bird and Zoro, and he's like, "Hey, fly higher. We're gonna get eaten by this thing. Run, run!" And that's when the South bird realizes, like, okay, snake wants food. Food equals Zoro. Zoro and Southbird together. Drop Zoro, Southbird safe. So he drops. So he drops Zoro.
Yeah, I'd love that. Just sort of doing the mental calculus, and he's just why you?
Yep. And this is when we start seeing everybody sort of coming together because we see Zoro kind of falling towards where the giant jack is, that cloud in the upper part of the giant jack. And at the same time, here comes Wiper climbing up to it because the giant jack leads to Aneru's temple, or the Kami's temple. So they're all ready to meet up there. And I love this, where Wiper arrives, dodging Ohm's attack, reaches it. Gonfor shows up saying, "Hey, the Kami's temple, there's no point in going there because, I went up there and saw it. Everything was destroyed," which, wow, I did not realize Aneru did all that, where he just wiped out all of the servants before leaving.
Yeah, the way, I mean, he mentioned it before. Yeah, he's sending a message that he no longer has a use for the temple, so he's just destroyed everything.
Yeah, he didn't just leave, he salted the earth, essentially.
Yeah, basically.
So Gonfor wants answers from Ohm, and Ohm's like, "I'm not telling." In the meantime, Zoro finally lands amongst all of them in the relics, and now we have this, like, can I just say that Gonfor looks awesome when he shows up?
Yeah, he's got like his, it feels like he's got his arms crossed with a spear. It just, in the way that he's sort of above everybody at that shot. I love seeing everybody stand. I don't know. We've got like a real like Mexican standoff going on here.
Oh yeah, we have all of that going there. Zoro's reached there, and then we have the snake going towards the giant jack, and we end off with this. It's not even ending yet. We just get this wonderful set of panels where they're facing off against each other. Your Mexican standoff, as you said, where Zoro wants the gold. Ohm's all about the Iron Challenge. Wiper's like, "Hey, get in my way, I'm going to kill you." And Gonfor just wants Aneru to take him out. Yep.
And then Luffy's punching the inside of the snake.
As the snake bursts through the clouds. And we get this amazing 2-page spread of all of them facing down against each other. All of a sudden, all the major players have come together, where we have this Ohm, Zoro, Wiper, Gonfor, and the snake.
Yes, like God, I think it's the snake in the background that really sells it for me. Just the scale of it all. It is honestly one of the hypest spreads so far.
I love this. This is so gorgeous.
You ready for all hell to break loose?
Oh yeah, let's get to it. This like, I remember like all the random fighting breaking out and really enjoying that, but seeing this fight in particular, this was fantastic. So chapter 268, suite, as in hotel suite.
Yeah.
And we're just picking up right there. It's like Zoro's like, "Oh God, even the serpent followed me here." And Ohm's like, "Hey, Holly, you can be a bad dog now." And they're all just getting ready to fight. And all the while, Luffy's like, "What is it with this cave? I can't break through. It keeps moving around. What is happening? I don't understand." And then we just get these wonderful panels of everybody fighting each other, where Wiper's firing his blaster, and Gonfor's running Pierre around the snake, and Zoro's getting around everything. It's hard to describe because so much is happening all at once.
It's so much is happening, but it's also like really easy to follow, which surprised me, especially as a caught up reader of the manga, where I feel like it can be kind of hard to read. Even a simple like 1v1 feels like it has a lot going on. But despite there basically being like 4 characters and a giant snake, I have a good idea about like where everybody is in relation to each other. Yeah.
And again, just showing the prowess of Wiper, where he's able to go toe to toe with Zoro, blocks his sword with his waver skate. So, like, I am continually impressed with Wiper. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
he gets around.
secret MVP.
Yeah. I didn't mention it before, but last chapter, I really love that shot of, like, with the camera kind of far from the distance, and you just see him, like, skating up the giant jack. The way he's just kind of, like, going from side to side. I'm just like, damn.
That mobility. It's so good.
He's really able to illustrate Wiper's mobility really well.
Mm-hmm. And then we get the ridiculousness of Holly, where Zora's like, oh, this one's got fangs, and all of a sudden it tries to punch him.
Yeah. It becomes very silly if just, the dog's like, put up your dukes.
Yeah.
He's standing on his hind legs.
It's so good because I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm a sky breeder, so I go above and beyond training my animals. So he can walk on two legs and he's skilled in hand-to-hand combat. It's like, Zora's just like, what the hell's wrong with you, basically?
Yeah.
And then, again, the way all these different sides fight each other, like nobody's on anybody's side at this point. Just taking opportunities. Godford trying to go after who just deflects it, no problem. He's like, why are you fighting me when you can't even handle Shura? And he's like, yeah, I can't retreat. I gotta take care of this once and for all. Like, everybody's just in it.
Nobody really has a second to breathe. Like, there's all kind of like an action and reaction to everything, and it's this section of the chapter really just drew me in. Like, it's just exciting.
And then we take a little break to get back with Robin, who's been digging this entire time, and I love that she has to dig with a knife. Like, she cuts out a square, a cube, and then she has a system behind her with her arms to take out all of them behind her.
This so like just ingenious, the way that she's able to use her power.
She's so much fun. I love this sort of knowledge aspect, this adventure Indiana Jones stuff going on right now with her, where she finds a hole and she's like, oh wow, it's deeper than it looks. So the clouds have simply taken over the land. They're just the top layer, and you can actually go deeper from where it shows. So that's the secret to all this. And I want to know more, but we're back into the fight, which is also cool. So it's like all good.
Yeah. But you definitely, you see Robin getting closer and closer to the answers that she wants.
Yeah. And in the meantime, Zoro finally discovers the beat up Chopper, and we see, like, oh yeah, I'm not cool with this at all. And then we find out exactly how that happened to Chopper, because the reason it's called the Iron Challenge is because uses an iron cloud. Basically, he has traps set up all over that cause clouds as strong as iron come out and are barbed. It looks painful.
Yeah, and it looks like they're sort of like set up all over the section where it's kind of like a classic Indiana Jones trap almost. Like, you step on something, and it just triggers one of these barbed wires.
Yeah, almost just like, yeah, I chopped him up, but the rest of his injuries are from the challenge. So he's just him landing on stuff. So what, you seek revenge now? And Zora's like, nah, I don't like to fight with motive. Oh, you're an idealist, but I can feel one coming on. Like, he is pissed.
Oh boy. Yep.
I like that. I'm like, I try not to fight with this way, but you've crossed a line. We're taking care of this.
He's gonna get it.
Back over to Robin. She's just more of these panels of her exploring, like crossing over the ruins, going through all of the overgrowth, until she discovers a light. We step away from it. We don't see it right away.
Not quite.
Instead, we get Nami, who is being chased by heavenly warriors, and it's just on the waiver, going up the giant jack as the fight continues, and we finally come back to Robin, and Robin successfully found the city of Shandora,
and it's massive.
It is so huge, like all this hidden beneath the clouds. And this is the lost city of gold. And I can't tell if it's actually gold because of it being black and white. But it's like, oh, wow, okay. So maybe that's why nobody's seen it, because nobody's gone below the clouds.
Yeah, I feel like it's such a cool reveal. I guess, I don't know, the way that it's... And I feel like it was built up to, since the Shandians had like their own village hidden underneath the clouds. So true, I don't know, maybe there's some sort of connection there, but yeah, I love the way that this is built up to it. All of the lore and setting of it all makes it really feel like an adventure.
And the great thing about it is that you get a little bit of meat to the story rather than just the fight scene happening. And granted, the fight scene is fantastic, but to have that little extra there is really great. But that's the chapter, so let's go ahead and just immediately jump into chapter 269. Oh God, it's they have one of these split things again.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's just a shame because this color spread does look really cool, but it's split across the end of one chapter and the beginning of the next.
Yeah, I went back. It's 269 Concerto.
Yeah.
So there's our setup there, and yeah, it's more of like a tea ceremony type thing for the spread. Looks cool, but it's kind of hard to describe without it being right in front of us.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten the next cover story yet.
Yeah, we're still working our way through all the characters. We've gotten plenty now, so yeah. But yeah, we get a little narration where it's like, okay, the Going Merry has successfully arrived at the northeastern shore of the Upper Yard thanks to Konus and Pagaya, and I guess it's up to us to guard it, or up to them to guard it. And their way of guarding it is we get an explanation for the music. They blow a horn to ward off enemies.
Sure.
Which just shows exactly where they're at. It's so dumb. That dumb joke aside, we get basically the rest of the characters all meeting up because we have people laid out flat on both sides. We have the rest of the Shandians going together. We have the Heavenly Warriors coming together, and we get flashes of all the other characters that have been taken down at this point. Everybody's just saying, climb the giant jack, while Rocky's like, Wiper, please don't use that reject dial again because it's not going to work. It's useless.
Again, I'm still wondering how she knows and why she specifically.
I don't know, but Anera is just laughing it up because he's like, oh, perfect. They're all climbing to the top and they'll perish there.
Yep.
My prophecy will come true. Although I do love the little extra thing that the panel of Yama still planted.
Yeah. Yep. Still face planted right in the ground.
That feels good. We just get back into this crazy fight where it's Wiper trying to take out Gonfor.
And I love Gonfor flying around all these, like the laser beams.
And Gonfor is like, please stop it. I'm trying to be on your side. He's like, nope, you guys are one and the same, so you both need to go. So get out of here. As the snake attacks, and the snake is so powerful, the skin is just so strong that even the burn bazooka doesn't work on the snake, which is saying something.
Yeah, I mean, God, Luffy can't punch through it. It's just like I feel like the snake is definitely earning its reputation. Yeah,
it completely is, and poor Luffy's just having a bad time in there.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Zoro's having a bad time outside as he's facing off against Alm and the dog.
God, the drawing of the dog is so silly. I love it.
It makes me laugh every time.
Yeah.
But it turns out that Alm's sword is actually made of the Iron Cloud as well. He can hit the dial and it'll transform it into that long thing, which again explains how he's able to hit Chopper. And again, another long range fight for Zoro, despite it being another sword fight. I like this. Alm has a very cool power set.
He really does. And it's basically just like a whip sword, but it makes for a good matchup against Zoro.
Yeah. I also love Zoro saying, I see the white sea's full of warrior entertainers.
Yeah.
Because everybody has a gimmick.
Yeah, really.
Alm realizes that all these other people show up, and all of a sudden, here come the Heavenly Warriors, here come the Shandians, and everybody's ready to just fight it out. I think
I love they get there, like everybody's posing, everybody's looking badass.
Yeah, I think we get 5 more Heavenly Warriors, 3 more Shandians, and they're all looking pretty cool. We got our battle line set up. But of course, there's the giant serpent that's still in there, who's now getting tickled because Luffy's trying to use a rock to dig his way out.
Yep.
Just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's just complete chaos.
Yeah. And speaking of chaos, that's when they realize that Nami and Isa are there. They see the two of them as they're getting chased. And I love that Zoro, Gonfor, and Wiper all unintentionally help out to take them out to protect those two.
Yeah. They all have a reason to want to protect them.
Yeah. It's
great.
It's really funny to see how that all comes together. Of course, Wiper's like, no, get away from them. Get away from the Blue Sea people. And it immediately begins fighting the other people as well. So it's like, come on.
Oh, my goodness. And if things weren't going from bad to worse already, and I feel like it's because Wiper is trying to attack them that like they're trying to get away, but it causes them to all get eaten by the giant snake.
Yeah, they just Gonfor, Pierre, Nami, Isa all get caught in the way of the giant snake and eaten and swallowed.
Yep. Congrats, Wiper, you played yourself.
Yep, that's them off the board. But now it looks to be Holly versus Wiper and Alm versus Zoro, and both those two, Wiper and Zoro, not looking so good. They get let their guard down, and they are down for the count by Alm.
Yeah, Alm, honestly, he's also earning his reputation. He's kind of been taking everybody out.
Oh, yeah, he's been super effective. It's been seriously impressive. It's finally have a vassal worth a damn.
Yeah, no, seriously. He's like, okay, last one's finally doing something.
Yeah. Otherwise, the SBS has just a little bit about like how is there a west by northwest in the Grand Line when the direction's supposed to be all mixed up. He's like, and Oda's like, aha! You see, it's possible near a continent to gauge the correct direction. So that since they were nearby, they were able to do that.
Glad he thought about that. That's some cool world building.
Yes, has some thoughts. But let's go ahead and get to our final chapter. We are blowing through this. This is definitely a short episode.
My goodness. This is going to be a very short episode.
But it's all combat.
Yeah, it's all fighting. It's all awesome.
Yeah. Chapter 270, Serenade. And the Shandians are upset. It's like, how dare you do that to Wiper? We see the two of them down for the count. The snake looking
out.
Not in great shape, honestly.
Yeah.
And rather than some captions telling us how things are going, we got Alm here counting things out. So, okay, we got 4 of the communist warriors defeated in the top tier ruins. Doubt the other 2 have gone down yet. That leaves 4 more Shandians, 1 more Blue Sea person, 1 giant snake, and Holly. So 10 people and 2 animals remain. And we're getting near the end, so let's do this, Holly. And Holly, I love this dog.
He's so cute.
It's like Yama, but yeah, like you said, cute. Yeah. Just dodges out of the way with his shotty and knocks him down. Has this crazy run on 2 feet.
God, you can tell Oda loves this dog.
Oh yeah, he's had fun with this, and the way they work together is also good because he runs around the perimeter, setting off all of the iron cloud traps, which forms a net around everybody, like encloses them within the iron challenge, the white vine cage match.
Yeah, I got also, this is a reference to something way later in One Piece. If you know, you know. I got birdcage flashbacks from this.
Oh, okay.
You'll see we'll see it when we get there. Yeah, okay. It's from past where you're at. But
okay.
Yeah, we'll get there. This is a much better version of that. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. I mean, it looks cool. I like that Holly has it. I like that we saw that other Shandian land and set off some, which I guess gave Alm the idea. It's like, all right, let's set up this cage match. But but it turns out Zoro is not down for the count because like, what's the point of the cage? I'm not running away.
Yeah.
And they're like, ha, you fool. It's not a trap. It's made of white vine. So in other words, it's all barbed wire.
I love this mid-explanation.
Yes, Wiper gets up as well, kicks the Heavenly Warrior into the barbed wire and takes him down.
Yep. Oh, man.
And Zoro's just like, all right, so how do we get out once we've beaten him? It's like, well, worry about that after you've beaten him. The snake is trapped in there as well. I'm actually starting to feel bad for the snake because he is looking really bad.
He's going through it. My understanding of the scale was definitely kind of thrown off a little bit. I'm kind of surprised that the snake's able to fit inside the cage.
Yeah, a little bit. I guess it just sort of was down, not feeling well at the time, so now it's sort of caged in there a bit. I'm not sure. But we're down to 8 people and 2 animals, while Rocky actually makes it there. And it's like, hey, Wiper, I gotta warn you about these things. And Neru's in the forest. Kamakiri's defeated. And
this is a bad time for a message.
Yep. And all the while, Wiper's like, no, you get out of here. Get away. And
No,
that's
no,
when
no,
an
no,
arrow
no, no.
shows up. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, hey.
God, that face where he's just like, did you call for me?
Which is honestly
Oh, God.
terrifying. And to see
It's
his
so
vision,
terrifying.
his face reflected in her eyes.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, man. And this moment is like, Wiper has come across as kind of uncaring a lot of the time, but I think this matters a lot, where he's like has his hands up against the barbed wire,
he's bleeding,
and
trying to get out to warn her to stop.
Yeah, to get Aneru to stop. She surrendered her right to fight. There's no need to do anything. Don't try it. It doesn't matter. Rocky attempts to shoot him. Nothing happens.
It just goes right through him.
The greatest thing is that this other heavenly warrior like tries to hit Wiper with his, I'm guessing, a blade dial. Mm-hmm. Wiper doesn't even acknowledge it.
It's just And so did he get? Well, obviously I didn't want to bury the lead, but like Rocky just gets electrocuted, just point blank.
Oh yeah.
But it looks like Wiper kind of like he takes the hit that was coming from behind. I couldn't tell if he's because he's bleeding from behind.
Yeah. He definitely took the hit. I don't know which one. It might have been an impact down since we didn't really see a cut.
Yeah.
But he doesn't even care. Rocky is down for the count, and the heavenly warrior is like, didn't work. I'll try again. And Wiper just grabs him and slams his face in.
God, Wiper is just brutal.
Oh my God. He is amazing.
Yeah. God.
I mean, they called him a berserker, but yeah, that's essentially it.
Yeah.
He just shakes off pain and is able to fight so well.
Yeah.
I'm amazed by it. So, but Zoro gets his first look at what the kami looks like, and Aneru has to taunt him. It's like, you're not as strong as I thought. Women can be warriors too. So anybody that challenged me are all equal in my eyes.
Mm.
And
then just talk smack and zaps out of there.
Yeah, bam's out of there. He's like, well, I did my job.
Yeah. Jeez.
And
God, I feel like that is the most terrifying thing about Enterer, is that he could literally just show up.
Yeah.
Like he has impeccable timing that just makes you go, oh God.
And he sees it all
Literally.
thanks to his mantra. So
Yeah.
My God. They both have the idea like, okay, before we can take on Alm, we need to take care of this snake. So Wiper and Zoro go after the snake. But of course, because they see each other running side by side, they attack each other.
Of course. Yeah.
Because these two are just idiots. But then Holly, of course, has to get in there, trying to shake Paul, separating the two. Zoro deflects the Alm's sword while a Shandian warrior tries to use the axe style, fails to do that against Wiper, gets sent grabbed by his feet, slammed into the ground.
There's so many, like Wiper in particular has so many imaginative techniques where I feel like he takes full advantage of sort of the like kind of 3-dimensional air combat.
I would never imagine somebody that wields a bazooka to be so limber.
No, yeah, seriously.
It's so
He's got
good.
the power and the speed.
But we leave off with the fight with 6 people and 2 animals remaining. And speaking of that animal, we get Nami, Pierre, Gonfor, and Isa all inside the snake, and they're like, well, what is this place? Well, we're inside, and we got to get out before we get digested. Gonfor's like, why are you two doing here? It's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And Gonfor's like, okay, well, it looks like we can't cut through the stomach. And Nami's like, don't be stupid. If you want to mess around the snake and make the snake mad. And Gonfor's like, it was a joke. And she's like, yeah, right. I'd like to see the idiot who tried that for real. Cue
Speaking
Luffy.
of, nobody would ever be dumb enough to try that.
Yeah. And Luffy's looking like he's gotten a little beaten up on this side. His clothes are in shreds.
Yeah, he's just been getting just bonked around for the past 10 chapters.
And yeah, that's where we leave off with Luffy reuniting with some of the characters and being present for all this, just not knowing it.
Yeah, again, I love these things. Oh yeah, I'm in this weird cave. All this time he doesn't know that he's inside of a giant snake.
I have no idea where it's going to go. I know the end point after all of this. I just forget the process.
Yeah, the how and the why. But we're kind of coming up at the end of the arc almost. We still got a little bit of a ways to go, but it's kind of surprising how fast we got through this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much wrap up there is, but I know, like, as we said before, it ends around 300, and I don't know how many chapters they spend on wrapping up the storyline and getting things resolved. Yeah. But I wonder if this will be wrapped up in about 20 chapters.
Yeah, I could see it. Definitely 20 to 25.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So we are not long for this. It's kind of crazy. God, this was fun.
Yeah, no, this was a blast.
Yeah.
It was just, oh God, it's so chaotic and so. I feel like that. I really have to shout out, like, the action choreography is on point and just so readable, despite how chaotic it is. And I think that that is not an easy feat.
Yeah, and it works because you have the chaotic element that is Alm and Wiper. Like, yeah. Alm is sort of the focal bad guy at this point, but Wiper just does not like anybody and will attack everybody. Like, he does not,
yeah.
He does not care, which just leads to that extra chaos that makes it fun. Like,
seriously,
like I said, Wiper is kind of the secret MVP of all this. I love seeing these fights. It's really fun and cool.
Yeah, for sure.
With all that said, though, I believe we've said all we wanted about chapters 266 to 270 of One Piece. Definitely a shorter episode, but thank you so much for listening, and you can find more of my ramblings and stream VODs over at BitNerd Games on YouTube, or BitNerd with an underscore at the end on Twitter. And Brandon, where can everyone find you at?
I'm at Brandon Bovia on Twitter, talking about anime, manga, games, and my job. Yeah, that's really it.
Yeah, check it out. Definitely give it a look-see, and if you'd like to help us out more, you can support the podcast over at patreon.com/Derek Bittner, that's DERRICKBITNER, to listen to the next episode 3 days early. And make sure to return next time as we take a brief break from Skypiea, because it's time for our next movie. That is movie number 4, came out around this time, Dead End Adventure. So we're going to cover that for a week, and then we'll be back to Skypiea. Look forward to it. This is a good one. My memory serves, this is a good one, so it should be a lot of fun.
First full-length, feature-length one. So
yes.
I'm excited to dive into it.
Yeah, this one's not 60 minutes long. We're getting full 90 minutes, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So, until then, my friends, bye.
Remember to take life one piece at a time.
You must run away! Abandon this fight! Inaru. He's in the forest.
Enough!
Inaru is lightning itself. He truly has the powers of a god.
Stop! Leave at once!
He cannot be defeated.
Do as I say!
Wiper?
Did I hear my name?